Hello friends, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we will see what is immutable class and how to create them. So let's see with an example. What is the meaning of immutable? So friends, immutable means simply once you have created an object with a state, you cannot modify that. See, let me remove that one and I will show you. Here, you can see I am not able to mutate the state of ABC. It is not showing me ABC XYZ. It is showing me only ABC. So if you want to update object, so you need to refer to the new object that is created by concat method. So what concat method internally does, it creates a new string object with ABC and XYZ and return that object. So here you can see the return type of this concat method. It does not change the original object. So that is the meaning of immutable, that string is immutable. That is not the case with string buffer. In the case of string buffer, I am able to modify the state. So let's see how to create immutable classes. Okay, let me remove this. Paste it. Okay. So here friends, I have listed down 5 important rules, you can say, to create immutable class. First one is your field should be private and final. So the final is not that much necessary, it just to improve readability or prevent again accidental changes. Don't provide setters for your field. So you should not provide setter for your field. Deep clone all mutable fields in your constructor. So in the constructor you should deep clone all the mutable field. In the getters, return clone of mutable field. So we will see this with example and declare either class as final or method as final. So friends, your class should be final, or either you can make your class final or all the methods as final. So let's see them with example. So friends, here I have created one student object that is now mutable, and we will convert it to immutable. Okay, let's see how many ways I can mutate the state of student object, and we will prevent those ways by using one of the rule. One of this rule. Okay. Okay. Let's see first directly accessing fields. So my student class fields are now public. So I can directly access that and change the state of my student object. Okay, let me print my object. Okay. So friends, here you can see the state of this object is changed. So this is the one way by which I can mutate my object's state. So how to prevent that? By making our field private. Okay. So now first way is prevented. Okay. Now what is the second way? Second way is by using setter method. So how I can change my object state by using setter method? Let's see. I can just simply call my set name method and pass any other name like Miss. Okay. Now here you can see I'm able to change my object's state. So that is also not allowed. So how to prevent this one? Here, don't provide setters for your field. So we can simply remove all the setters from our class. Okay, let's remove them. Now, no one can update using setters. So we have prevented two ways. Now, what is the third way? Here, friends, you can see I'm using this contact list as a student's contact. Okay, so I'm passing this. So what will happen if I modify this list and add one more contact to it? Let's see. See friends, I am able to mutate my object state in this way also. So how to prevent this way? Okay, so you can simply, I will use this rule for that. Declone all mutable fields in the constructor. Since our uh, list of contact is mutable, so we need to declone this. So there are multiple ways for decloning. So I'm just creating new object and copying all the fields to that. Okay. Okay. Now let's use this contact one. Now let's run this program again and see if this helps or not. See friends, now even after changing this list, the object state is not changing because I'm not using this list directly to my, I'm not assigning this list directly to my objects field. So I'm just copying the content and using new object. So this reference to this contact list is no longer associated with my student objects contact list. So that is important here. So friends, one more important thing you need to consider here, string, the list of type is, the type of this list is string. So string is by default is immutable. So string by default is immutable. So you don't need to copy or you don't need to create new object for string. Okay, but what if our type of list is mutable? So here you can see in the case of address, our type of list is mutable. So let's see how to clone that. Okay, first we will see how to mutate our object state using address field. So here you can see I am using this list as address for my student object. So let me change the city of home and see if this will affect my object's state or not. Set city to Lisa. Now let me print. Friends, here you can see this object state is now changed. So this is not allowed. Even if I copy, if I simply make a copy, if I simply create a new list of type address and okay, I simply do that as I did with contacts. Let me do that also. Sorry. Okay. Now run that again. Here you can see I'm still able to mutate the state of my student object. So how to prevent this? So friends, here we also need to clone that each and every address object. Friend, one more thing, if address contain another mutable field, then we also need to deep clone that also. So that is what called deep cloning. So if we do in this way, like creating new object every time, this will take a lot of effort. So I am simply using third party library, that is JSON library, that you can simply download from Maven Central. Okay, so how to clone with the help of JSON library? Let me show you. We need to create a JSON object. Okay, now JSON dot to JSON. First, we need to convert our object to JSON. Let me convert this list of address to JSON, and then again I will convert this JSON to our class type. So from JSON to class. See here, I will pass this JSON, and what is the class? List. Okay, now we will see if this works or not. See here, now no one can mutate my object state in this way. So we have prevented this also. So we have used third rule for this. Okay. Now let's see what about fourth one. Now what I can do, I can uh, create new address, and in that I can create new address list and point to the student's address list. Okay. Now here I can also mutate. Sorry, let me show you. Let me remove first one. Okay. So here, now the object state is also changed. Friends, the point here is we should not expose our student class internal fields reference to external world. Okay. So here what I am doing, I am exposing direct reference to my student class reference field. Sorry, student class field. Okay. So friend, the point to remember is you should not expose any of your class fields reference to the external world. So you always return a clone or a new object. So what this rule says, use in getters you should return clone of your mutable fields. So let's return clone of our mutable fields. So I'm simply copying that logic from here and pasting it here. Okay, and now copy this one also. Okay, now see if this works or not. This works or not. See, now even after removing the first object, it has no impact on my object. So here I have prevented this way of mutation also. So let's see what about this last rule. Declare either class as final or method as final. So friends, now for now my class is not final. So I can create one another class that is mutable and extend student class. Okay. Now what I can do? I can shadow. I can create one address in my child class also. That is doing what? That is shadowing my parent class very well. Okay. And I can override. I can override. Sorry. I can override one of my parent class method get address. Oh, I it is okay. That is final for now. Let me remove that. Okay. So okay. So here you can see I have overridden twisting method in both the classes. So let me create one child class object that is you student or our new you student. Let's use same argument. Okay. Now one can do one thing. Now one can do what? He can create my class reference and assign their object. And that is also valid in Java. Now suppose if there is one method or someone using my student object, okay, that method accept student object as argument, and one can do what? Pass this student one to that method. So that method will be assuming like your object will be immutable. But let me show you how this will behave as mutable. Let me print this one and print this one. Okay. Now get address. Huh? Or now let's remove that 0. Okay. Let me print. Friends, here you can see. Can you tell if our object is mutable or immutable? Our original student object is immutable, but that you student object is mutable. Here what I'm doing, I'm just shadowing my address field, and in the case of twisting I'm also printing this local address field. So okay, this is obviously if someone using this object, student one object, and if he will also call again like now I want to get address system dot print, sorry. Okay. Now here you can see this address is mutated one, because you know how overriding works in Java. If someone call get address, so this will call the child version of get address, and that get address method will return the child class address field. Okay, so that's the problem. Your object should always behave like immutable, but here your object behaving like the unmutable one. So that's the problem. Or how we can prevent this? By either making our class final so that no one can extend our class. Okay, one way is that. Another one is you can mark your field as final, so no one can override. Okay. Okay. And then one might say child class can also use some other method with some other name like address bun, but then in this case this method cannot be called with the reference of parent class object. Okay, so that's not a problem for us. Okay friends, that's all. Thank you for listening.